The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and my sisters. Welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I'm your host, Afro Elite. Some of you all might be celebrating Thanksgiving. Some of you all don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but regardless of that, I hope you all are having a fantastic day with your family and friends. And if you're working, I hope you guys get a lot of money today. I wish you all the best today, especially, but I wish you all the best every day. So really nothing's different. And I appreciate every single last one of you all here. I know that we keep our schedule consistent regardless of the holidays because my sound. Something's wrong with my sound? Hold on. Is something wrong with my sound? Can you guys not hear me? Hold on. Hold on for 1 second. Okay, it sounds muffled. Give me 1 second. I don't know what's going on there.
Okay, I'm back. Am I better now? Is my sound better now? Let's see. Don't know what's going on. So, yeah, I did. I just checked it. I did sound muffled. I don't know why, but yep. Okay, better. Good. Appreciate you guys for being here with us today. I appreciate that. I sound a lot better. Good. Thank you. There's some things that we need to discuss. Because it seems as if, which something nobody wants, after the historic defeat or the historic election that everybody said was going to divide the country, everybody said was going to be a close race, everybody said was going to be a nail biter, wound up not being a nail biter whatsoever. Kamala Harris lost without question. She lost very easily, to be honest. She lost all of the swing states to Donald Trump. So now what is everybody's famous Indian, everybody's favorite Indian going to do? A lot of people are saying that she might make a comeback. But before we get into the potential comeback that she may or may not make, what we are going to do is we're going to protect the interests of the channel by paying a copyright thing. So we have it very understood to YouTube that all of the video clips that we are about to play is under the fair use guides. All right. So this is why we play this disclaimer. Okay. Because it's all under fair use, YouTube. Okay. Just gotta let that be known. As we are doing that, you guys, please, I appreciate it if you guys hit that like button as we're doing that. Thank you. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Do I still, because you guys are in the comments saying I still sound muffled. If you guys can hear me clearly, put the thumbs up emoji in the chat room if I can be heard clearly. Okay. All right, because some people are still saying, I don't know if you guys are like got it from before and you leaving a comment from like a few minutes ago, you know. So okay, I'm cool. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm good. That's good. So this is Joy Reid. She just continues to crash out. I already made a video on how she likes to divide black families. I want you guys to keep this in mind, that all of what she's saying right now is specifically catered for black families. All right. This is the audience that this message is catered to. So let's listen to this.
In short, our dinner, their choice. It's the same energy their forefathers had toward the indigenous tribes. Hey, let's have Thanksgiving dinner on the land we stole from you. But before we pack you off to the reservation and snuff out your culture, could you please pass the corn on the cob? There's the dozens of post-Civil War massacres wiping out black communities from Louisiana to North Carolina to Rosewood, Florida, and Tulsa, Oklahoma,
hold on,
where black communities got burned to the ground by racist white mobs. A century later, gentrified when rich folks want to live downtown because it's closer to work.
Now, one of the things, just keep this in mind, they will bring up real black issues. Just see where she goes with this. I'm not going to spoil it. See where she goes with this. She's bringing up real black issues, things that really did happen to our community. All right. And then look at how she spins it. Look at where she goes with it going forward.
But let's just call it even, because y'all got King Day, a black president, and Juneteenth. Geez, what more do you want? Accurate history? What, are you trying to hurt our feelings? These are the people who say the undocumented, who they get to call illegal immigrants, like the Pilgrims had permission to come here, have to suffer the consequences of their actions, right? They made the choice.
Do you see this? Do you see how what somebody in chat room, yeah, you're absolutely correct. It is still happening. This is still going on. It's not like a past tense issue. It's not. That's a great point. But do you see how she brings up real black issues? The bombing of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, a lot of the other massacres that we experienced. Shout out to our good brother Torian Rain. He did a whole series on that, going like all the way to like hundreds of years and explaining all of the massacres that happened in that time. So we've been going through it. All right. We still go through it. And then she also talks about, the discrimination. She also talks about the white flight, which is what she just mentioned. So she talks about real black issues. And then she finds a way to link that and connect that to illegal immigrants coming over, breaking into a foreign nation, which they have no legal right to do. It's not like this was America was their land. They're all the way from Venezuela and everything like that. Several countries away from America. It's not like they're even the border country. Several countries away from America, breaking into America to take the resources. And she's trying to tie what happened to us to them. That's what she's trying to do. That's what she's trying to do.
To overstay their visas or come into our country illegally. So if they get deported, consequences. But you right-wingers shouldn't have to suffer the consequences of your votes. You don't want to be around me because I voted for fascism. No fair. I'm coughing on you with COVID, but you want me to wear a mask for your safety? No fair. My body, my choice.
So now they have an issue with my body, my choice. Like, you got to make your mind up a little bit. Either it's your body, your choice all the time or none of the time. It can't be your body, your choice selectively, because then it's not really your body, your choice then. Anytime they make that argument, be all like, hey, if it's my body, my choice, you have to say it's my body, my choice all of the time. If it's not all of the time, then it defeats the whole principle of my body, my choice.
Here's an alternative thought. Make your own dinner, MAGA. Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears. Troll amongst yourselves with Elon and leave us alone. You got your heart's desire, the president you dreamed of, and worship instead of Jesus. And this time, you didn't even have to storm the Capitol, smash the windows, or try to kill police officers or issue death threats to poll workers. See? You did it just by voting this time. Congrats. You got your way. And he even got away with breaking the law. Yay. But if you expect the 73 million who voted for the prosecutor, not the felon, and particularly the 92% of black women who voted for Kamala to give you a cookie for your vote, a trophy, a hug, a high five, you might be asking too much. If we want to eat with you, we will. But if we just want some peace over the holidays.
No, notice now she's using the we. If we want to eat with you, we will. If we no. Joy Reid does not speak for all black women, especially all foundational black American women. She does not speak for you all. She doesn't speak for that. Now, and this is her again, because she brings up black. She singles out the people who voted for Kamala and then black women. And who is black women having family dinners with? other black people. That's who black women are having family dinners with. So this is an attempt to create this little gender divide thing that they got going on.
Holidays, and we don't want to put up with your trolling while we eat our tofurkey. Get over it. Stop acting like we owe you, and for God's sakes, stop whining. It's embarrassing. Our Thanksgiving, our choice. And when we come back, I have a special announcement that you are.
I don't think anybody want to hear that announcement. Nobody's whining. She's the one who seems like she's whining. Who else is whining? Who else is whining? Nobody else is whining. Now, this is on top of, and we're going to go back to this. This is going to be relevant. I wanted to play this so it can simmer in your mind. We're going to go back to that because it is relevant. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be discussing the potential threat, honestly, of Harris coming back for a second term or a second run, not a term. She didn't have first term, a second run. Here she goes saying this is Politico, saying Harris is telling her advisors and allies to keep her political options open. Okay. So we're going to get into this. It says she could run again for president or California governor. Now, here's the thing with this. The only way she would be able to run for California governor is essentially Gavin Newsom would have to not run again, which means Gavin Newsom would be trying to run for president, which is something we all suspected. We all knew that Gavin Newsom was going to be doing that. Okay. Something is going on right now because the chat room is not moving. Anyway, we're just going to keep it pushing. We're going to keep it pushing. It says Harris has been laying low since her defeat in the presidential race, unwinding with family and senior aides in Hawaii before heading back to the nation's capital. But privately, the vice president has been instructing advisors and allies to keep her options open, whether for a possible 2028 presidential run or even a run for governor in her home state of California in 2 years, as Harris has repeated in phone calls, "I'm staying in the fight." That's a bad idea. Harris, you don't need to stay in no fight. You need to call it quits for politics. Call it quits for politics. That's it. All that what you've been doing, sleeping your way up to the top, that's not going to work no more. And that's how you've been getting where you're getting, okay? At this point, you trying to get anywhere else is delusional. First off, from vice president to governor is kind of like a step down, really, in the eyes of a lot of people. And then the way California kind of swung, California was blue, but it didn't. A lot of the counties around it turned red. So I don't know if you're gonna really be able to make it in California either. I mean, you just digging a deeper hole for yourself. I don't know what's up with these mulattoes. Her and Drake doing the same thing. Continues to say she is expected to explore those and other paths forward with family members over the winter holiday season, according to 5 people in Harris' inner circle who were granted an anonymity to discuss internal dynamics. Her deliberations follow an extraordinary 4 months in which Harris went from President Joe Biden's running mate to top of the ticket, which she was just given top of the ticket. She did not earn top of the ticket. She was just given top of the ticket. Okay. Re-energizing Democrats before ultimately crashing on election night. Oh, wow. I mean, she did crash. Okay. But that's not the only thing. Now, a lot of little publications are sitting up there trying to float around the idea that she might return. I just wanted to give you that idea because it's not a definite. But let me show you this. Okay. This is Yahoo News. Kamala Harris may be considering a 2028 presidential run, and I need, all caps, need to know your thoughts. So they're citing this from Politico. That's why I read the Politico thing first. So even Yahoo News is saying that there's a possibility that she might return. I'm going to read just a tad bit into this. I appreciate you all. Y'all stay on point. Shout out to Hurricane, Patricia, Earth Angel. I see you all. Let me see. No longer asleep. Thank you so very much. says, though no decision has been made, news from Harris possibly stepping back on the campaign trail has spawned a flurry of reactions, good, bad, cautiously optimistic. So I'm curious how you feel. What do you think about Harris' potential running in 2028? So let me ask you guys a question. If you guys think that it would be a good idea for Harris to run, I want you to put the check emoji in the chat room. If you think it would be a good idea for Harris to run, put the check emoji in the chat room. If you think it would be a bad idea for her to run, put the X emoji in the chat room. I want to know, we're just going to do a little survey right here. We're going to do a little survey. Do you guys want another Harris Waltz campaign in 2028? Do you guys think that that would be a smart idea for her, or do you think it would be a very dumb idea? All right. Now, as you guys are doing that, we have they took this whole I'm keeping my political options open, and they took it to a whole nother level. I mean, it's at another level now. Now that they're saying she has a very high chance of winning if she does it again. Look at this. I want you guys to see this. I mean, this is just really ridiculous right here. So this is saying new poll. Now, remember, all of these polls that were biased towards Harris, even though this poll says unbiased, straight facts, all of these polls that were unbiased towards Harris were literally saying that Harris was going to win in a landslide. These same polls that were unbiased towards Harris, or said that they were unbiased towards Harris, these polls were saying that she was beating Trump in the swing states, she was making a comeback, that she was winning the popular vote. And as you see, she lost the popular vote, and she's the first Democrat to lose the popular vote in several years. I think in decades. I don't think Republicans won the popular vote in decades. So she lost any and everything she could lose. And all of these polls were saying, oh man, it's going to be a tough race. She has a lot of advantages on her side. She has a lot of advantages. We just don't know how this is going to turn out. But we did find out how it turned out. So just take all of these polls, these unbiased polls, with a grain of salt. All right. It says, President-elect Donald Trump has not even been sworn in yet, and already polls are coming in onto whom may succeed him in 2028. That includes a long list of Democrats in what likely will be a crowded primary field. An Emerson College poll asks which candidate voters would support in their party's 2028 nominating contest. Among Democrats, 37% said Vice President Kamala Harris, and 7% said California Governor Gavin Newsom. Okay, so that's not, I mean, that's a little over 30%. Okay, I'd like to see what the rest of them said. Okay. Now if it's saying, now just so you know, if it's saying, look at the title, it said that the polls are saying that she's doing great, that they want her. This is not even a majority. This isn't even 40% said that they want her to come back. So who is the rest of the people picking? That's what I want to know. Because even if you add the 7% to 37%, that's only going to be 44%. So 44%, that means it's a whole 66% out there that they're not saying at this moment. Just keep that in mind. I mean, that's just simple math. Oh my God. Sorry, y'all. Damn. It says transporting Secretary Pete Buttigieg, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro rounded out the top 5, polling slightly lower than Elon Insight poll conducted a week after the 2024 election. So it says, according to Politico, Harris told supporters she is not leaving the political arena despite her defeat in the recent presidential election. the vice president said that she wants to keep her options open. One possibility would be a run for governor in her native California in 2026. Harris was once Attorney General of California and is a Bay Area native. In addition, current Gavin Newsom is term limited, leaving a majority. Okay, so I guess this is the end of his term. Okay, I mean, he wouldn't be able to run even if he wanted to. Leaving a vacancy. So he's going to be out of here in 2026. So who knows? That might be the smartest move for her, because going back to becoming the president isn't going to be. The same Emerson College poll, it continues to say, the same Emerson College poll found Vice President-elect J.D. Vance leading the pack on the Republican side, with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in second, followed by Vivek Ramaswamy. DeSantis jumped into the conversation ahead of UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, who polled in line with Ramaswamy in a post-election Each Island poll. So these are some of what the polls have to say. All right. Let's be very honest. We all saw, as far as what the Republicans are doing, the Republicans is not picking Vivek Ramaswamy for anything. Okay. He's out here trying to bleach his skin and lighten his skin up. He's not getting picked. He is too non-white to be picked. He's too Indian to be picked. He's not being picked. Nikki Haley is not being picked. Not by the Republicans. Okay. Especially not after Donald Trump. J.D. Vance is more than likely, as long as he and Trump stays on good terms, if Trump endorses J.D. Vance, he has an overwhelming leverage. He has overwhelming leverage over any of the other Republicans. Nobody's going to vote for DeSantis. Nobody's going to do that. Okay. J.D. Vance has the best chance of the Republicans outside of Trump. When it comes to the when it comes to the Democratic Party, Harris should not return whatsoever. Okay. This time mirrors what happened with Hillary Clinton, and it mirrors what happened in 2020. People do not like Harris. It's less about she didn't have enough time, which is why I said in one of my broadcasts a week or so ago, I said, don't let them use the whole excuse of there's not enough time. There's just not enough time. She didn't have enough time. She had more than enough time. Okay, because she was Biden's running mate. So she was already doing campaigns and all of that stuff prior to being at the top of the ticket. It's not like she was just a mayor or a governor and then she had to do all of these campaigns. She was campaigning for years. So she really did have enough time. The people making the argument of, oh, it really wasn't enough time. It was enough time. If it was anybody else, I would give the argument to them and say it wasn't enough time. But because it is not, and because it was her, she did have enough time. And that's just the reality of the situation. That's just reality. All right. So everybody's expecting her to come back, and people are saying that they want her to come back. But then people are looking at certain things that she's doing and saying, I don't think it would be the smartest idea to bring her back. Have you guys seen this? I mean, she's out here looking sad. She is out here looking sad. But before we do that, we got a lot of people out here hoping that she will come back. I want to show you something, but I want to show you one thing first. The K-Hive is desperately hoping that she's going to make a comeback. After the loss, she took this picture. She took a picture. These are like, I don't know if these are her nieces or these are her family members. They're not her children. They're not her husband's children. I'm not sure. I guess these are her nieces or cousins, possibly. I'm not sure exactly whose children they are, but she's out with children playing Connect 4 and everything. And then you have some people literally looking for the stars with this. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. Just look at this picture, and then look at how some people are interpreting this picture. Just take a look at this. Y'all gonna be mind blown. Look, listen to this. This was that same picture.
It's not over. I'm gonna say this here because we're gonna point out a few things in this picture. And I don't have this is not concrete, but just follow me here. Number one, she's laughing. She's laughing. The one thing, besides all the other things, the one thing that a lot of people were really upset about with her was that laugh. I just can't get past that laugh. And you know what? I think this is on purpose. Number 2, she's wearing, what is she wearing? She is signaling her HBCU like family here that, hey, we gonna be all right. Okay, now that's number 2. Number 3, take a look right over here. What is one of the nieces wearing? Harris Walls is on that shirt, right? Number 4, I just want to point out Connect 4. We are connecting those dots just like a prosecutor would. I think that is another sign in this picture that it is not over. And number 5, I'm just going to give her and her team the props to put her hair up. Put her hair up because she is doing the work behind the scenes and she doesn't have to have, the full press going, all the things. She was like, I'm rolling up my sleeves, I'm putting my hair up. And she put out the picture with her hair in a bun. She didn't put out the professional picture that she probably always would with like a campaign photo or anything like that, where she was just like full out that way. No. And then I think it's interesting. I'm going to put another number 6, that they're on the ground. She was always talking about our future, and she's not about talking down to people. She is getting on the level with these kids because they're her family, right? But it is like what we do as parents, right? We're not always, right? We are getting on the level because we need to understand them just as much as they need to understand us. I don't know. This is what I see. I don't know about the backgrounds. I'm not really focused on that. I am focused on the fact that this one down here is wearing blue. Okay, those are my thoughts. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. I am not a conspiracy theorist, but I am observant. And I do think that nothing is on accident in this photo. Okay, tell me your comments below. Bye.
Yo, that denial is a son of a gun, ain't it? That denial is something else. I'm talking about you are reaching for the stars with that. I mean, there's conspiracy theorists, okay? And there's people who can understand a hidden message out of a picture. But she literally took every single thing about this picture and she flipped it into this is a secret. Instead of Harris just announcing that she's planning on a return, there's no reason for her to send this little secret coded message through a picture with her family that she's coming back. If that was, what would, let's say just logically, what would be the point of her doing that? And then do you see the way she reads? She's all like, okay, she's sitting on the ground, and that means she's connected with the children, because that's one thing that we don't do. We normally sit on the chair, and we show a sense of superiority to the children. But sitting on the ground shows a level of equality, connection, love. Okay, look at her wine glass. Do you see there are 3 ice cubes in the wine glass? Why? Because third time's a charm. She tried in 2020, she tried in 2024, and now, bam, third time's a charm. She's going to try in 2028. That's proof. That's proof if you ask me. Let's be very honest with you, okay? Why are her sleeves rolled up? You don't need to roll your sleeves up to play Connect 4. She's connecting the dots like a prosecutor. Somebody needs to get this woman aluminum bonnet or something like that. I don't know what is going on with her. Who let the asylum have cell phones and be on TikTok? Who let them do that? I'm talking about just the delusion and the desperate. Are you that desperate? Are you that desperate? Okay. She has socks, which lets you know she's ready to put her shoes on to get to work. I'm like, oh, they need so much help. They ready for her to come back, but they need a lot of help, okay? Now, something else. I mean, it's the mental gymnastics that you had to come up with to look at that and be all like, you know what? This says to me that she's going to run again. Okay, This says to me that she's going to run again. She's not drinking red wine, it's white wine. So that way, when she gets to really moving, she doesn't mess up the carpet like she won't mess up the economy. See, she's smart like me. We like this with it. We are like this with it. Okay. I mean, just this, Lord. I mean, somebody in the chat room, and yeah, bless her heart. Oh, bless her heart. Okay, I wish her the best. And she gonna need it. Lord have mercy. And then she gonna end it with, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, ma'am. I've seen some conspiracies, and the conspiracy theorists from the conspiracies I've seen would look at you, be like, damn, okay, she need a little bit of help. Okay, let's bring it to earth now. Our good brother Hurricane says, can you say jail babble? Oh yeah, that's jail babble. That's solitary confinement babble. That's I talk to myself in the mirror every day and have conversation. Not talk to yourself, give a prep talk. I'm talking about ask myself questions, answer the questions, have deep conversations with different opinions in the mirror every day. That's solitary confinement babble. That's what that is. Now, the Democrats are trying to ease their way back because they understand that it was foundational Black Americans who determined that she was not going to, or the Democrats were not going to keep the seats that they've been keeping, that they were going to lose power. We are the ones who let them crash and burn. So now what you have from old racist Joe Biden, you have old racist Joe Biden plotting to make a comeback. The racist Joe Biden is plotting to make a comeback. All right. So in order for him to do that, he decided to put judges on the federal court, bring a whole bunch of federal judges. And in those federal judges that he put on the court right before he leaves, because he's about to leave in a little bit of time, it reads right here. We're not going to read the whole thing. It reads right here. President Joe Biden. Oh, no, I went too fast. President Joe Biden has appointed 61 Black judges, including 39 Black women who are now serving lifetime appointments on the federal bench. Importantly, nearly 40% of those judges came to the bench with significant experience protecting and advocating civil and human rights. Wow. These are the judges. It's a long list of judges. Let me get the logo out the way so you can see all of them. Long list of Black judges that you have right here. All right. And everybody's like, oh man, Joe Biden did it this time. Oh, Joe Biden wasn't playing. Oh, look at what Joe Biden did for the Black community. Look at all those Black judges. You now know you can't say Joe Biden didn't do anything for Black people. Look at all of the Black judges he appointed. He appointed all of those Black judges, and he's deliberately made majority of them Black women. That was deliberate. He deliberately did that so that way it can kind of pander to the Black feminist crowd to be all like, oh, well, you know, Joe Biden really does love Black women. I mean, you got Kamala Harris, you got Ketanji, you got all of these other Black women who are judges, and he loves judges, okay? Or he loves Black women. That's what they're gonna say. That's what they're gonna say. So he's doing that. A lot of the Republicans are really upset about it. Let me ask you something. Whoa. The Black judges that he has, the Black people that Joe Biden has appointed, are they Black first? Are they pro-Black? Because the only people I've known Joe Biden to ever appoint has been either tethers, bedwenches, mulattoes, or most likely all three. Most likely all three. Okay? Since we want to talk about judges, remember a couple years ago when he appointed Ketanji Brown Jackson into the Supreme Court, and everybody made this big deal about this Black woman, the first Black woman ever to reach the Supreme Court. Remember that. It was a huge deal. And everybody's like, Joe Biden loves Black women so much. Oh my God. Okay. There's no proof that Ketanji is going to do anything for the Black community. She's not even married to a Black man. All right. So there's no proof that she cares about other black people, and just because you're black does not mean that's going to be a benefit for the community. We should all have known this by now. We've all experienced this and learned the hard way by now that you being black does not mean that you having a position or a role is going to benefit the rest of the community. As a matter of a fact, if we're going to be completely honest, most of our issues come from the black politicians because they are used to be the gatekeepers, okay, and they're of our success. They're used to be the gatekeepers of our success, and a lot of times they become a bigger obstacle because they're in the path of more things. They're in a way blocking and being a hindrance to more things. For instance, the California reparations thing. Who was the ones who fumbled that bag? Now, a lot of people saying it was Tethers or whatever. I'm not sure exactly. I'm sure there were some, but essentially it was a black face in a high place who fumbled that bag. All right. It was all of these black faces in high places, and we have not gotten anywhere. It gets worse. Look at Chicago. That's a black face in a high place. I'm talking about with Brandon Johnson. I'm also talking about with Lori Lightfoot. Look at New York. That's a black face in a high place. And then look at how New York is going. Do I need to continue? I don't really think I do. I do not need to continue. Remember this with Ketanji. Remember when they did this thing when they were trying to get Ketanji to the Supreme Court?
Woman provided.
And as they were trying her out, they asked her a very easy question. What is the definition of a woman? Do you guys remember that? The definition of a woman. Remember? And this is what she had to say.
Provide a definition for the word woman.
Can I provide a definition? No,
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the
biologist.
meaning of the word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition?
Senator, in my work as a judge, what I do is I address disputes. If there's a dispute about a definition, people make arguments, and I look at the
All right.
law and I decide.
Well,
so I'm not.
The fact that you can't give me a straight answer about something as fundamental as what a woman is underscores the dangers of the kind of progressive education that we are hearing about.
Now, what's very interesting is that the Democratic Party and the left are always talking about how the Republicans don't want us to teach about history, which is true. That argument is true. And how the Republicans want to take certain books out of schools that bring up and mention very relevant parts of the darkness of American history. That is true. But if we're going to talk about school and all of that stuff, you want to talk about the dangers and the darkness of American history, which they really, really don't. They're just lying about it. But in schools, they're not even teaching in schools. They're not even promoting in schools what a woman is. This woman, Ketanji, is a judge who is going to be, or is now, but it was on her way to become a federal judge, a Supreme Court judge, lifetime appointee, a Supreme Court judge, the highest judge you can be in this country, a Supreme Court judge. And you ask her, can you give me the definition of a woman? Okay. That is not a scientific question. Well, I'm not a biologist. Ma'am, you need to be a biologist to give the definition of a woman. Can you at least try? Can you at least try to give the definition of a woman? She couldn't do it. Because these are the people who act as if a woman could be one thing one day and then another thing another day, and a woman is determined on how you feel at that moment. So you can be a male and be a woman. That's their argument. It depends on how you feel. So let me ask you, when you think about stuff like this, and then when you look at stuff like this, does this seem like a W for the black community? Now, at the top, all right, now, let me see if it's on your left or right side. It's on your left side. At the top left, all the way at the top, you see Ketanji Brown Jackson. You see her there, right at the top. Do you think we need more judges with her mentality? Not to mention all of the anti-black stuff that she's actually done. I'm just talking about the fact that she doesn't make any sense. Just the fact that she doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Do you think we need more judges like her in our community who are going to just sit there and be like, I'm black when convenient. I'm not going to do anything for the black community. My appointee, me being an appointee on a federal level, that's not going to do anything for the black community. I'm going to look out for illegal immigrants. I'm going to look out for all of these other, the rainbow community. I'm going to look out for everybody else except black folk. These are the type of people who will get in the way of our reparations. All right. And this is who Joe Biden picks. Joe Biden didn't just randomly pick out names from a hat. He didn't draw names from a hat like that. This is who he picked. And he deliberately picked majority women. He deliberately picked majority of them females who, I mean, I think we should ask what the definition of a female is, because how many, we don't know, no disrespect, we don't know how many of them actually identify as a woman. And this is not to be disrespectful, but based off of what Katanji was saying, do we know if they even know what a woman is? We calling them women, we don't even know if they know what that is. But the reason why he picked most of them women is because what the Democrats are going to continue to try to do is they're going to continue to try to push this little gender divide between black men and black women, because they understand that black men and black women being on code with each other is the reason why they lost. So now you're seeing little stuff like this float around. This was an image that went viral. And it's pretty much an AI generated image of a bunch of black women sitting down, drinking coffee, drinking tea, chilling. As you can see, one of the shirts says 92%, and that's supposed to represent the 92% of black women who voted for Kamala Harris this election. And as they're sitting up there watching essentially the world burn down, and they're drinking their coffee as if they're unbothered, because they're not here to save anybody anymore. They did what they're supposed to do. So this is going to be the narrative. This narrative is giving you guys a preview of what the narrative is going to be going forward. It's going to be any trouble America goes through is going to be, well, black women tried to save the day. Black women tried to say, we voted at 92%. We tried to save the day, but y'all didn't want to listen. And this is what happened. So it's going to be this. This is the way of slowly trying to create some type of gender divide, which is what they need again in order to get the White House, in order to regain power, any type of power. Look at this. This comes from AP News. This whole gender divide thing that they keep trying the same thing again. It's saying feeling betrayed by increased minority support for Trump, black women say they're stepping back. So now you got a whole bunch of black women out here looking all sad and defeated. And this was all the AKAs who are looking sad and defeated, throwing their hands up in the air. And this is what the Democrats are going to be doing. Like, black women tried to do it, but black women were betrayed, quote unquote, betrayed. So now you not voting for Harris, who's not black. Keep this in mind, because I've been saying this. I think every time I mention Harris, I mention the fact she's not black. Who's not black is now a betrayal to black women. All right. So now they're acting like they're speaking for all black women with this, even though majority of black women clearly did not go out and support her. Clearly, that's what the numbers are saying. They don't want to admit it, but that's what the numbers are saying. Okay. Just getting into it a little bit. It says, as she checked into a recent flight to Mexico for vacation, T.J. Smith chuckled at the idea of joining another women's march on Washington. First off, yeah, because that's a stupid idea. A women's march on Washington. When Dr. King was doing his thing back in the day, when he was doing the march on Washington, or all of the other marches, not even just the March on Washington, any of the other marches, there was no, okay, well, this is going to be the Black men's march and this is going to be the Black women's march. This march is going to be strictly for Black males and the other march is going to be strictly for Black females. We were not doing that stupid stuff. We were not doing that. All of this, we need a woman's march, okay? That's stupid, and that's off code. It continues to say, as a Black woman, and this is her, T.J. Smith, as a Black woman, she just couldn't see herself helping to replicate the largest act of resistance against then President Donald Trump's first term in January 2017. Even in an election this year where Trump questioned his opponent's race. Is that really what happened? Did he question her race? Is that really what happened? Okay, anyway, even when he questioned his opponent's race, held rallies featuring racist insults, and frequently claimed Black immigrants in Ohio were eating residents' pets, he didn't just win a second term, he became the Republican in 2 decades to clinch the popular vote, although by a small margin. So, first off, and this is the AP News trying to carry water and save face, because we all saw the videos when he said they were eating the cats and dogs and all this stuff. He didn't technically say Black, but okay. And then a lot of people were saying that was true. Whether that's true or not true, I only heard him say it one time. They're saying he repeatedly kept saying those false claims. Okay. And Harris repeatedly ignored the cries and pleas from the Black community that these pet-eating immigrants were destroying the community. All right. And all of this trying to save face and all of this trying to make it seem like she was the good guy and she just didn't win. This is why she lost. It continues to say, it's like the people have spoken. The quote, it's like the people have spoken. And this is what America looks like, said Smith, the Los Angeles-based founder of the advocacy social media organization Get Social. Quote, and there's not too much more fighting that you're going to be able to do without losing your own sanity. After Donald Trump was declared the winner over Democratic Vice President Kamala Harris, many politically engaged Black women, that notice they're not saying Black people, they're saying Black women. So this is them doing that separation thing. Politically engaged Black women said they were so dismayed by the outcome that they were reassessing, but not completely abandoning their enthusiasm for electoral politics and movement organizations. So essentially what they're saying is that Black women are essentially giving up on all things politics, giving up on all hopes and dreams, and just giving up on life. Now, we did see some of the members of the K-Hive crash out, but as far as foundational Black American women are concerned, they not tripping. They not tripping. Foundational Black Americans, the foundational Black American women ain't tripping. Foundational Black American are cool right now, okay? Right now, they cool with a plate of macaroni and a side of turkey. I can't believe that. You know how I said a plate of macaroni and a side of turkey. Turkey's supposed to be the main dish. Anyway, I digress. It says, Black women often, listen to this, Black women often carry much of the work without, Lord, they carry much of the work. So Black men are just not a factor of getting out the vote in their communities. Okay. Getting out the vote for what, though? For what? Because it's not within the best interest of the community. It's within the best interest of the party. They had vigorously supported the historic candidacy of Harris. Oh, and notice the historic, really? I ain't even going to be able to think I can manage to get through all of this. Who had been the first Black... Hold on. Who had been the first woman of Black and South Asian descent to win the presidency. She did, but she didn't win the presidency. What are they saying? And notice that they're bringing up the word Asian now. They weren't bringing up Asian before. They're bringing up Asian now. It says Harris loss spurred a wave of black women across social media, resolving to prioritize themselves before giving much to a country that over and over showed its indifference to their concerns. But Harris showed indifference to their concerns. All right? They're sitting up there treating this like Harris was a champion for black women. Harris never mentioned black women. She didn't. Harris did not say anything she was going to do substantive to better black women's lives at all through her entire campaign. She brought up Cardi B, she brought up Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion to twerk and dance. That's it. She never mentioned how she was going to better the lives of the black women, the majority of the black women who said that they were going to vote for her in the first place. All right. We're just going to get through this last thing because we got more to get you. It says AP Votecast. This is the AP News. AP Votecast, a survey of more than 120,000 voters, found that 6 in 10 black women said the future of democracy in the United States was the single most important factor for their vote this year, a higher share than for other demographic groups. But now, with Trump set to return in office in 2 months, some black women are renewing calls to emphasize rest. Okay. Focus on mental health and become more selective about what fight they led their organizing power to. Okay. All right. Yeah, you should be more selective with the fight you lead. But the fight you lead should be a fight that benefits the black community. And this is showing that the Harris campaign, the K-Hive, they've not learned anything. They've not learned anything at all. All of this black women, now we're being selective. Now we're thinking about ourselves. There was a whole thing, quote unquote, the 4B movement. If you guys know about that, that's a lot of women who are saying that they're not going to date, marry, or have any type of sex with men. Okay. They're not going to do anything with men. They don't need men whatsoever. So they're going to break up with their men. They're going to divorce their husbands. They're going to leave all men alone. And they're going to just be in their own world without men. That's the whole ridiculousness of the 4B movement. So you got like irrational people out here. You honestly do. You really do. You have irrational people out here that nobody's checking for. And all of this irrational, emotional, divisive, gender dividing thing is what destroyed the campaign, what's been destroying the Democrats for the longest time, which is why when Obama tried to come back and make a comeback, he wasn't able to do so. Because she messed up her own campaign. She was not looking out for black women, which is why she lost. This is a whole Indian over here who can't stand black women, can't stand black people. And she's shown that time and time and time again. She's the woman who told you she would not could not, but would not do anything specific for black people. And you got black women out here talking about that they are going to focus on their mental health because she didn't win. And she was about democracy. Even though when we as a democracy said that we don't want illegal immigrants flooding into our neighborhoods, they said it don't matter what you want. They're going to come and they're going to stay. If we got to raise the prices on everything, then so be it. If the city is in debt, then so be it. If we got to give them government food stamps, housing, jobs, so be it. We didn't ask your opinion. And this is the democracy that they claim that they were fighting for. Is this democracy that they claim that they were fighting for the whole time? All right. But you got more people in trouble. And this was messing up her campaign. I'm telling you why. A return in 2028 is going to be a dumb decision. But to be honest, I don't even know if it's going to be a possible decision, because now people are counting up the money, because we discussed before that Kamala Harris is so deep in debt. Everybody's asking, where did all that money go? Now, we discussed how Roland Martin was caked off. Roland Martin got pennies, really. But Roland Martin was caked off to do that interview with all of the shilling. And boy, he was earning and working, and he was trying to get that money to the best of his ability. He got $350,000 for a lot of shilling. I don't think anybody did more shilling than Roland Martin did. And he got the smallest number of money than anybody else. But somebody else that we have to talk about Al Sharpton. Oh, yeah. Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton was caked off heavy. And a lot of people kind of asking about that now. So, getting into this, it says MSNBC was unaware Harris campaign gave $500,000 to Al Sharpton's group ahead of friendly interview. Y'all, Al Sharpton didn't even interview her for a full hour. And he got $500,000 for a sit-down interview. And it's something, and this goes to the deceptiveness of the Harris campaign and of the Democrats, because he didn't even let MSNBC know about that. So all of these people, Al Sharpton, Roland, all of these people were trying to hide the fact that they were getting caked off. So this is why Harris is in all that debt. She's in all that debt because she was paying people to hook her up, and all of the money went under the table, or a lot of it. I'm not going to say all of it because clearly not all of it, but a lot of the money, because if he didn't let it be known, that means that he didn't want it to be known, because there's probably some type of ethical issue with her paying him for that interview, him directly, because it's not like she just paid MSNBC, she paid him or his campaign. All right. So it's probably a little bit of ethical issues with that. So this shows the lack of professionalism that the Democrats have and the lack of efficacy that the Democrats have. We're going to look into this a little bit. It says MSNBC admitted it was unaware that Vice President Kamala Harris' campaign paid $500,000 to Reverend Al Sharpton's National Action News Network nonprofit ahead of a friendly interview. And it wasn't even like a real serious interview. Let's be honest. It was a very friendly, lighthearted interview. A friendly interview with the Democratic nominee ahead of Election Day. Harris sat down with a friendly interview on October 20th with MSNBC's Al Sharpton, and an open sponsor of Harris in the Democrat Party. Following Harris' loss to President-elect Donald Trump, FEC filings revealed that Harris' campaign gave two $250,000 donations to Sharpton's nonprofit organization in September and October. But the MSNBC host did not inform viewers of the contributions or the conflict of interest before or after the interview. See? Now, all of this stuff, and this is why we're saying that these people are paid shills, okay? Because they were out here saying that black men who didn't want to vote for her were misogynist, and they just didn't want to see a woman in charge, and they were too insecure with toxic masculinity to see a woman in charge. But he never disclosed, not before or after, for the sake of his own integrity, for the sake of his own credibility, he did not disclose that, because it knew he would be seen as biased. And in order to help out in the best way he could, he had to seem impartial, which is why he didn't do that. And these are the people who are supposed to be leading the movement. This is why we have a movement that has no leaders, because when you got shills, Democratic shills like him, who are supposed to be being the voice of Black America, no wonder we're not getting anywhere. This is why the community has culturally rejected and ostracized shills like Al Sharpton, because of stuff like this he does. And the same as Roland Martin. Roland Martin never disclosed before or after that he was getting paid. Now, he tried to spin it saying that they were political ads. They were political ads. That's what he tried to do to save the little bit of credibility he thinks he has. But him and R. Sharpton are cut from the same cloth. They're willing to lie, cheat, scam, do a whole bunch of unethical practices and activities in order to get what's best in it for them. They're not looking out for the community. They're not looking out for the community. Because if you were looking out for the community, if you were looking at, because I'm going to be honest with you. Hold on, let me get this off screen. I would have been, I'll be honest with you. I would have did an interview with her for free. If she wanted to do an interview with me, her, Waltz, Trump, Biden, anybody, if they wanted to do an interview, a real serious interview, okay, no editing the clips or anything, a live interview, I would have did it for free. Okay, so that way I'm not restricted. There's no type of regulations on anything I can talk about or any question I can ask them. Okay, there would have been none, because that's true integrity. And even if I was getting paid, which I wouldn't have gotten paid, because even if I did hit her heavy with the questions, if it came out that I did get paid, then it would have been the people wouldn't have been able to trust my word for anything. All right. You know who else they offered to pay? They also who else was it? The name? Oh, I can't believe I forgot this name. They also offered Dr. Umar Johnson. They offered Dr. Umar Johnson like $10,000. He said on like a live. This was several months ago, but they offered him $10,000 to do a sit-down interview with her. And more than likely, there would have been a whole bunch of little regulations. They would have said, okay, well, we can take the live, but you can't ask about this. You can't ask about this. You can't ask about this. You can't bring up this talking point. You can't mention this problem. And then we get the final edit. That means we get to take the live. We get to chop it up to make her look good. Because that's all of these little interviews. All of these interviews that she was having, they were all prep rallies. They were political prep rallies for her, and all of them had the agenda: make her look good, make her look good. This is why she couldn't go certain places. All right, this is why. And Dr. Umar said, "Hey, I'll do the interview, but don't give me. I'm not taking the money," because he already knew the game. He already knew the play. The play is, okay, if you take the money, you just gonna have to sign this little contract right here to say you can't talk about this, or whatever, and we have the final rights to everything. So you're gonna have to sign a DNR and everything. He already knew. So we know what it is when these people take this money. It's not like these people are taking this money and then not being impartial. First off, it's very difficult, if not possible at all, to take tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars and be impartial. If somebody gives you $10,000, you're not going to be impartial. Imagine somebody gave you $100,000. You think you're going to be impartial? Now imagine if somebody gave you $350,000. You think you're going to be impartial? And then Al Sharpton has $500,000. These people are not going to be impartial. And they didn't disclose that, which further proves that these people honestly don't believe in what they're saying. These people are out here trying to get the bag, and they're literally, what's so bad about it is they're literally willing to throw the entire community under the bus to do so for their own nonprofits, for their own networks. That's the level of unscrupulous mentality and untrustworthy behavior and lack of character and integrity of these people. But a lot of people have been asking, what's going on with the money? What's up with the money? Because, I mean, she is in serious bad debt. And now, a lot of the facts are starting to come out about, the money. A lot of facts are starting to come out about the money. So, you got this out here. Now, a lot of the big donors are looking at it, being all like, hold on, you didn't let me know you was going to pay $300. We donated. Imagine if somebody donated to you $200,000, $200, not $2,000, $200,000, and then you gave that and more to Roland Martin for an interview where it didn't benefit you none. Imagine if somebody gave you $500,000 and you wound up giving it to Al Sharpton under the table for an interview that didn't benefit you none. So a lot of her donors are feeling finessed. A lot of her donors are feeling finessed. And this is the proof. Look at this. Hold on. It says Harris campaign failed $1.5 billion campaign. It's a lot of money. Okay. It says it disqualifies her forever for running for president. Democrat, which it says Dem, but Democratic mega donors cries cannot be trusted with money. If anybody knows anything about campaigns, before we really go into this, let me take a sip of water. Okay, because we gotta talk about the facts here. If anybody knows anything about campaigns, running a campaign, and especially the higher you go, the more money you're gonna need. If you're running for like a local office, a local city council, and everything like that, depending on where you live, you might be able to fund that yourself with a little bit of campaign assistance. This is why people raise money for other communities, okay? They get money from different organizations, they get money from different donors and all that to fund their campaign, even if they use a little bit of their own money, because campaigns are very expensive. And the higher you get with the campaign level, it becomes more expensive. It is very expensive to run for a mayor, especially if you're a mayor in a big city. Imagine running for a mayor in a small town in Arkansas. No shout out to Arkansas, but a small town in Arkansas, running for that mayor, it might not cost that much. If you want to run for mayor of Chicago, if you want to run for mayor of New York or Atlanta, a bigger city, it's going to cost you more money. So the higher up you get and the more valuable this position is, the more money is going to cost your campaign. It's going to cost more money to run for governor of a state than it would for the mayor. So it's going to cost, so you guys know, a lot of money to run for the president of the United States. It's going to cost a tremendous amount of money through donors. So really, a lot of the donors, they kind of control what these politicians do, because the politicians are in debt to the donors, because they can only get their positions if they have enough money for their campaigns. And the donors know that, hey, I got the money to fund your campaign, and you can be a great candidate. You can have great ideas, have great policies, but if you don't have the money, you're not going to win. You're not going to win these votes if you don't have the money to run your campaign. Now, I got the money, but I'm going to need you to do me a little something when you get in office. That's how politics work, okay? And it can become very bad for the average everyday man and woman, especially with the big donors having agendas that harm the community. But that's a different conversation, okay? We'll talk about that a little bit later on sometime. But this is how it works. So the donors are the ones who really determine if you're going to run or if you're not going to run. When Joe Biden had his horrific breakdown at the debate, the donors were the ones pulling out. The donors were the ones saying, hey, if y'all want me, they told the Democratic Party, if y'all want us to donate any more money, y'all better get Joe Biden up out of there. I'm not trying to watch all my millions of dollars get flushed down the toilet. I'm just not trying to have that. So if y'all want a dime more from me, y'all better get Joe Biden out of that. And Nancy Pelosi, Obama, all of these other people, they plotted a coup to get Donald Trump. They plotted a coup to get Joe Biden up out of there. They did. And this is how the donors work. So the donors, they say Congress controls the purse of the federal government. And as true as that is, you can look at donors as if donors control the purse of a campaign. So when the donors say, hey, you got over $1 billion, close to $2 billion, and now you in debt. Oh, no. You ain't getting a dime more. Don't you ever think about running for president, because I'm talking to my friend. He's talking to his friend. We all talking to each other, and we all came to the conclusion that we're not ever giving you anything else again. So this is where Harris is right now. So as we go forward, it says she's disqualified, according to them, for ever running. Ever. That means she's done. Ain't ever coming back. All right. It says Kamala Harris' failure to win the presidential election despite a war chest of $1.5 billion, quote, disqualifies her from ever running for office again. One Democrat mega donor claimed in a new interview. Oh yeah, they feeling finesse. They feeling finessed because a lot of them were lying to the donors about the polls. That's the thing. A lot of the Democrats and everything, they were lying about the polls. They were lying and saying that the polls were actually in Kamala's favor. Okay. That's what they were doing. They were lying about that. And they were telling the donors, oh, you're going to win and you're going to get a great return on investment. And they found out that that's not going to be the case. And we're going to show you that they lied about the polls in just a little bit. It says, a 60-year-old vice president failed campaign burned through the reported massive amount in just over 100 days, including millions spent on advertisements and events attended by celebrities. Now, they're still trying to deny they paid any celebrity whatsoever. They're saying that all of the celebrities, 100% of them, did it absolutely for free. Let them tell it. That's the story they're telling, and they sticking to it. It says, quote, I think this disqualifies her forever. Mega donor John Morgan told News Nation's Chris Cuomo on Monday, if you can't run a campaign, you can't run America. Hey, I mean, and y'all backed the wrong horse. I can't say I feel too bad for you. Y'all backed the wrong horse. Y'all should have known she was going to lose. I don't know what was wrong with y'all. I mean, you all were lied to. You were lied to. You were lied to. Because look at this, y'all. This says Kamala Harris advisor, internal polling never showed VP ahead. Oh, what? Hold on. She was never ahead of Donald Trump because y'all said she was ahead of Donald Trump for the longest. Now they're saying her polling never indicated that she was ever ahead of Donald Trump. So she's been lying to America. She's been lying to the people. She's been lying to her donors, which is why her donors feel so finessed because they all, like y'all said, it was a close race and she got swept. So somebody been lying. Some ain't adding up. And now the internal polls are starting to come out. And now the money is starting to get revealed on where it was spent. The receipts are starting to come out. And now they're finding out that all of y'all been lying. This was a little plot and finesse. She's been lying. Al Sharpton's been lying. Roland Martin's been lying. All of them's been lying. So now everybody's starting to feel finesse. Everybody who's on that campaign is starting to feel finesse now. Yeah, y'all hearing it now first. She was never ahead of the polls, okay? This is breaking news. So anybody like it was a close race. It was never a close race. And she knew for a fact it was never a close race. And remember, let me take this off the screen for a little bit. Remember when I said Obama coming out and wagging his little skinny fingers at black men for not supporting her is indication enough that her campaign is in trouble. Folks was all like, her campaign doing great. It's doing great. Look at all these black people. Remember, I said from day one, I think I was the only one, or maybe the first one. I know I was the first one, okay? I was the first one to say all of that 40,000 black women on the Zoom call within like 2 hours, and then 50,000 black men on the Zoom call the next day, just raising all that. I said that was kept, and I'm going to stand by that because they've been lying the whole time. And I said from the very beginning, that's a lie. They do not have that much grassroots support. That's impossible. I said they're lying because they want to trick people into thinking she's more popular and likable than she really is. And then at the end of the day, we're all going to find out she's not. And this is what this. Hold on. That just freeze up. What the hell? Am I froze? Hold on. I'm froze on my camera. Hold on. What is going on? Okay, hold on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Oh no, hold on. Okay. Okay. I completely froze. To me, I froze. I froze all the way up. I couldn't press anything. But she was lying, and I've been saying that. From the very beginning. I said this doesn't make any sense. I said she does not have grassroots support. I said this is a lie to trick people into thinking she's more popular than she is, and now all of the facts are coming out. She was never ahead in the polls. I said it didn't make any sense. And I said, abortion has never been a top killer issue in a campaign. It's just never been that. It's literally never been that. All right. I said it's not. I said all of this stuff about dancing and freedom, and I was raised in a middle class family and all that. I said that's not winning nobody over. And now we're seeing that all of that stuff was a lie. All right. All right. And I was calling it from the very beginning. I said, there's no way. But it's showing she's never winning. This is why the donors are now saying she lied. Okay. So good luck with the donors ever supporting the Democrats, because y'all looking dishonest as hell. It says a senior advisor to Vice President Kamala Harris' presidential campaign said their own internal polling never showed her leading President-elect Donald Trump, and they were, quote, surprised when public polls put her ahead. See, the public polls were doing that. All of them being all like, oh, she's winning, oh, black girl magic. Oh, my God, look at what she's doing. Remember? And we said, I don't know. I said that's cap, and it proved to be the point. I was correct. It says, quote, we were behind. I think it surprised people because there was public polls that came out in late September, early October, showing us with leads that we never saw. Senior campaign advisor David Pulloff, if that's how it's pronounced, said on the Politics podcast, Pod Save America, that aired Tuesday. It says Harris lost decisively to Trump, 78. Damn, old as hell. Earlier this month, after he swept all 7 battleground states, winning the Electoral College and the popular vote, the first time a Republican has done so since former President George W. Bush won in 2004. All right. Continues to say, because that's about his cabinet. In an exclusive interview, Pulloff was joined by fellow Harris campaign high-level staffer Stephanie Cutter, Joe O'Malley Dolan, and Quentin Flux, in their first interview since losing the election that was predicted to be razor thin. Now, everybody was saying that. Remember. It says, quote, when Kamala Harris became the nominee, she was behind. We kinda, climbed back. No, you didn't. Stop lying. Even post-debate, we still had ourselves down in the battleground states, but very close, Pulloff said. So even after this debate, remember after the debate, they're all like, oh my God, she just killed him. Oh my God, she did such a great job. Oh my God. Did you see the way she dodged all the questions? Did you see it? Oh my God. Donald Trump can't debate against Kamala Harris when she has her support of the moderators. Oh my God, she just did so great. Her and the moderators did great against him. And then they saying, even though all of the left-wing news cycles and everybody was all like, oh my God, she did so great, she still was behind. She was still behind. She was still losing. Okay? This is breaking news, y'all. She was never winning, ever. It says the former campaign manager for former President Barack Obama 2008 presidential campaign said that they were paying attention to polls asking voters whether the country was on the right track and President Joe Biden's approval rating, which were consistently low. And now, I mean, that's not news to nobody. We all know that. Says these factors combined with an economy most Americans deemed as failing in a shortened campaign after Biden dropped out of the race in July are what Poloff described as, quote, a challenging political environment for the campaign. No, it was the black vote. It was the black vote. Because if Kamala Harris was talking about what we wanted her to talk about, if she was talking about a black hate crime bill, if she was talking about reparations, intangibles, if she was talking about getting rid of all of these anti-black immigration policies and all that stuff, if she was talking about that, she would have won. She would have won if she was talking about all of that stuff. But she lost because the grassroots rejected her. Now, if she was on code, she would have won, but she wasn't. So that's what she get. It says the fact that we got the race to dead heat was positive. He said, huh, what, really? It says, in an attempt to highlight the risk of a second Trump administration, Poloff said the campaign worked to tie Trump to Project 2025. Ooh, now, how many times? Let me pause it. How many times did I tell you guys? Because everybody's like, no, Project 2025 is real. How many times, honestly, did I tell you guys this is a ploy from the campaign? Do you guys understand? In every single campaign, all of them, okay, whether it's mayoral, gubernatorial, or presidential, or even any of the other ones, they have a team. They have a team, and they sit down and they discuss little controversies. They discuss little narratives, especially when they're up against one individual opponent. They discuss any type of controversy that they can tie their opponent to, any type of crime or any type of reason why the public should not support them. They sit down with the team and they do this. And I know this for a fact. Harris and the DNC said, you know what? Because Donald Trump is looking like a better candidate, a more capable candidate right now. So we got to up the fear factor of Donald Trump. So what we're going to do is we're going to say Donald Trump in Project 25 is like this. Project 2025 is Donald Trump's plan, even though Donald Trump has his own plan. And let's say some of his plans and some of his ideas and policies might intersect with Project 2025. They might have shared ideas on some points, but the whole 1,000 page or 900 page idea book of Project 2025 is not from Donald Trump. Okay, that's not his agenda. That's the Heritage Foundation's agenda. But they're saying, they're all admitting this now. What they had to do is they had to tie Donald Trump in there for political purposes, so the public can look at Project 2025 and have an association with Donald Trump and have that fear, which is going to make them vote for Harris to keep Trump out of office. This is what they're saying. And I've been saying this for months. I've been saying this since Joe Biden was in office, or he's still in office. I've been saying this since Joe Biden was running, that the Project 2025, I don't know anybody who was saying it before I was saying it, to be honest. I was saying that the Project 2025 thing, that's their way of trying to scare people into voting. And now they're admitting to it. Now they're admitting to it. Okay. I'm going to just read the whole thing again. It says, in an attempt to highlight the risk of a second Donald Trump administration, Poloff said the campaign worked to tie Trump to Project 2025, the controversial conservative presidential transition playbook that received massive backlash. You see that? You see? All of the lies are starting to come out now. It's all starting to come out now. Everybody's starting to see what the truth really is now. Going down a little bit more. It says, quote, Project 2025 ending up being about as popular as the Ebola virus. So we did a lot of good work there. See, good work. See, they're admitting it was a scam. They're admitting this was a political lie to help her campaign. All right. And now, of course, the son of a bee lied about it and he's hiring everyone who authorized it. Project 2025 is going to be Trump's administration agenda, as we pointed out. No. You can hire people who have the agenda of Project 2025. That don't matter. He can have his own agenda. Okay. There's a whole bunch of political nonprofits that give presidential playbooks, not just to the Republicans. They also do it for the Democrats too. It's up to the president. If he said he's not going to go about it, he's not going to go about it. All right. But they admitted that they made it up. They just admitted that they made it up. Him hiring somebody from the Project 2025 thing doesn't mean that Project 2025 is his agenda, okay? That's them trying to play little mental gymnastics. Says after Biden, 82, I think they forgot to put 182, but okay. After Biden, 82 dropped out. The campaign struggled to distinguish Harris from the administration's records and poor view by the public. And I said that was a problem too. I've been called this. And then it says, quote, "We knew what the data was. We knew we had to show her as her own person and point to the future and not try to rehash the past." Cutter, an Obama-era advisor in 2012, deputy campaign manager said. But she also felt that she was a part of the administration. Okay. And that's pretty much enough right there. This is why her campaign, her political future, everybody's like, oh, is she going to come back? Is she going to come back? She ain't coming back to nothing. She's not coming back to nothing. Nobody trusts her. Nobody. And the main reason why she's not coming back to anything whatsoever is because us in the grassroots, we're the ones who said she's not coming back. We're the ones who said, hey, you gonna cut the check or you not gonna get in the seat. They stalled, you tried to play, you tried to act like you can get around it by giving some type of nothing burger symbolic substitute. And we said, hey, we're not having that. We said we want the check cut. We gave you a list of very simple, easy to understand demands, and you acting like you don't get it. And if you don't get it, you ain't getting in this seat. And you tried to play, you tried to stall, and you wind up not only not getting in your seat, but now you're in over $1 billion. You're in debt. You're in major debt. And now none of the campaign managers ever want to work with you again. None of the campaign donors ever want to work with you again. A lot of your staff is now saying that your staff is not even getting paid. So your staff doesn't want to work for you again. The donors don't want to support you again. And the community is not going to support you. So you thinking you're going to run anywhere is a fool's errand. That's a fool's errand. You're not ever going to run nowhere. She's done. It's over with. At this point, it's just completely done. And then let me let you know something else. This also goes to harm the entire party, not just her, the entire party. Think about it like this. When Gavin Newsom runs again, do you think that the donors are going to be as frivolous with donating to Gavin Newsom if he does run for president? Do you think they're going to be as frivolous to donate to Gavin Newsom as they were for Harris? Do you think so? Or do you think they're going to be a little bit more stingy now? Because now a lot of them like, hey, man, we've been giving good money after bad. We've been giving money hand over fist to y'all, and we ain't got nothing for our investment. Y'all lost the presidency and both House and Senate. So y'all essentially took our money and threw it in the garbage. And now a lot of people looking at the people who actually did get paid, like Roland Martin, like Al Sharpton, and now they looking at it like, hey, man, what is y'all wasted our money? Giving it to them. And they didn't move the needle at all. They didn't move the needle whatsoever. So now the donors are going to be like, man, I don't really know if I can help you out with this. I really don't know if I can help you out with this because you guys were telling me that y'all was winning. That's what the polls were saying. That's what the news was saying. MSNBC was saying that. ABC was saying that. CNN was saying that. Okay. all of these news publications and all of the media and all of the polls and all of this stuff, y'all were saying that she was winning. And apparently the real information comes out, she was never winning. And you guys were lying the entire time. So what do you think of a donor who got millions of dollars? What do you think they're going to do now? Who do you think they're going to back up now? See, you guys shot yourself in the foot. Because now if they can't trust you to tell them the truth and they donating the money to you, they going to look like, hey, you know what? Let me holler at JD Vance over here. Let me see what he about. So now it's going to have the reverse effect. Now, not only are you in debt, now a lot of the donors going to be all like, you know what? Let me go holler at JD Vance. Let me go holler at, even though not to say the Republicans are honest, but let me go holler at them. Or let me holler at the Green Party or something like that. Let me do something, because clearly y'all can't do anything and y'all lying about it. Y'all incompetent and liars. That's a bad combination. That's a bad combination. Okay? It's real bad. It's real bad, y'all. Now, I know a lot of people out here, whether you celebrate or not, everybody's out here enjoying their family, enjoying their friends. But one thing I do want to leave you all with is whatever you do, wherever you go, whoever house you eat at, whoever cooked any food, just make sure that the greens were not cleaned in the bathtub. Okay? Just make sure.
So I know how to make a mean pot of greens. In fact, people used to ask me to make greens for them for Christmas. One year, I had so many that I had to wash that we ended up washing them in the bathtub. So I am not playing around. So what you got?
I have a friend who had a Christmas party, Christmas Eve every year, and she asked me to make the greens for a party every year. And I am not lying to you that I would make so many greens that I'd need to wash them in the bathtub. I'm telling you the truth.
So how do you make your greens? Do you put turkey in them? Do you
bacon.
Nice. My grandma
I do
used to
bacon.
Put bacon. She puts
Garlic.
vinegar.
I put white vinegar.
Yes.
I do. So I start.
All right, remember that. Remember that, family. Like I said, just make sure that the people who was cleaning your greens clean them in the kitchen. That's all I got to say. I'm just glad that we don't have to deal with this sickness no more. You know, happy holidays to everybody who cleaning and cooking and eating their food in the kitchen, in the dining room, like normal families do. All right. Just watch. Anytime somebody goes to the bathroom in your house, just make sure they're not bringing food in and taking it out. Just make sure they're not doing that. All right. Stay safe, family. Stay safe. Because people go to Kamala Harris' house and they ask her, hey, Kamala, why is there ground beef in your greens? I thought you said you cooked it with bacon. It's a lot of ground beef in here. Y'all don't want that to happen here. Y'all don't want that to happen. Don't let that happen. This is not the way of the Foundation of Black Americans. It's just not. Family, I appreciate you guys spending. I feel like you spent your holiday with me. I appreciate that so very much. Thank you all so very much. Y'all make sure that you all follow me on my various social media platforms. That's Afro Elite on Instagram and then the Afro Elite on Twitter. And the links to both of those are in the description below. Also, very important that you guys hit this like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Is Kamala, does she have a chance to run again? Does she have a chance? What do you think about her lying about her winning the swing states? Not that that's a surprise, but what do you think that now it's been exposed? Let me know that in the comment section below. My family, I appreciate you all for being with me. Be one to every single last one of you. Black men and black women are like this. We locked in. We on code. None of the little gender divisive tactics from the Democratic Party. It's not going to work anymore. It's over with. It's done. It's not going to work. We locked in. We on code. I appreciate you all. Be one to every single last one of you all. And of course, you all have a good one.